Epic is back, bringing you experts in snakes, geckos, frogs, and spiders, and more of your favorite content creators. This exotic pet conference is free, and it's all online. Emily from Snake Discovery will be delivering our keynote address. You won't want to miss this event. Mark your calendars for September 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern. With 17 sessions across 4 tracks, Epic is the largest, most comprehensive event of its kind. Visit epic.live to see the schedule, our guest list, and more details. See you there.
You got the intro. Go.
I love it because it's already going. It makes it even better. Welcome to Show Me Your Rack, where a couple of goofballs get together to look at someone's snakes.
We've seen some mighty fine racks on this show, haven't we?
We really have.
We're just out here having a podcast, being 2 average Josephines, and we're just supporting and uplifting others. My gosh, we love what we do.
We do. We could have no viewers and I would still do this because it's just fun to hang out and see people's cool stuff. If other people don't want to see it, well, that's just too bad for them.
They don't have to watch.
No, they're just grumpy.
But we're gonna watch because these are our people. And
they are our people.
We're spreading their love.
And this person, whew, they got a lot of love to share.
What's the what was it? Sandlot, where he's like, the Great Bambino.
Yes.
There's a hint.
I know. I almost thought about, well, maybe we'll insert sound clip here later when everything's working again.
Right here.
But yeah, that's just one of the things. I'm excited to see all of the things.
Very excited.
So put on your seatbelt, hold on to your hats. It's about to get real.
Let's take off.
Because we have Justin from Ozark.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hi, fella.
Hey, I'm Justin. I run Ozark Mountain Morphs, and we're out of Harrison, Arkansas, but I do appreciate you guys having me on.
It had to happen.
Definitely.
It really did. It was just next in like the natural occurrence of things. It was like, what happens next? We have on Ozark Mountain Morphs. We had to
do it.
I do appreciate it. I take a lot of pride in everything I do here. You know, I try to keep things just a little bit different and fun. So, I mean, I do appreciate it. Anybody that, you know, kind of following what I do and kind of vibing with it, I do appreciate it. Any love and support means the world to me, guys. You absolutely, you have no idea.
Speaking of, let's usually we do this at the end, but go ahead and put yourself on. How do people find you?
So I do have Facebook, Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram mainly. Facebook's, you know, kind of hit or miss. You know, it's fun. But I also have a YouTube. I only have one YouTube video out. It's something I do need to work on, you know, kind of get in a little bit more day-to-day content around here, stuff I've got going on. I got a lot of the ball python stuff, you know, and I try to keep it kind of cutting edge, a little bit different stuff. But then also I've been dabbling into hognose and green tree pythons, and I work with a few different species of New Caledonian geckos. So just kind of some day-to-day stuff around here it'd be nice, you know, let people get a little bit more of an idea what I have going on. It's so busy. I mean, you guys understand how it is, especially having any kind of collection of any size. You know, the work's never ending. You know, we're always behind trying to clean something, feed something. You know, it's always something.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you shit, Nikki? What just happened? Oh, how long have you been like breeding? I mean, we all start out as collectors, and then we decide, okay, I think I'm gonna try to breed this shit. But yeah, how long have you been breeding?
So I attended my first show back in 2018. So that was when, to be honest, before that, I had no idea. Back in the military, I kept a ball python in a 20-gallon fish tank in my barracks room and stuff like that. Growing up, I kept a few different species, like a green iguana, like everyone else, fire belly toads, and a few other things. But my dad said no snakes. So when I got out on my own, that's the first thing I grabbed was a snake. It's something that always interests me. But I was kind of the weird kid that was just overly obsessed with dinosaurs. So I'd always been naturally drawn to reptiles because, you know, dinosaurs, we don't, you can see bones and remnants of them, but that's about the best you're going to get. So as it progressed, I kept a few things, and then in 2018, attending my first show, I saw that there's not just other like-minded people, but there's a whole industry modeled around just keeping and collecting cool, beautiful animals and then reproducing those animals. And people making an absolute great living doing something that's, you know, arguably a dream for some people. You're like, that they say, if you do what you love for work, you'll never work a day in your life. And this is a prime example. I started going full time with this in 2022, excuse me. And since then, I've never worked as hard for anybody else as I have for myself. It's 7 days a week, 8 to 10 hour days, just constantly doing something, trying to stay on top of social media, the cleaning, the feeding, and stuff like that. But it's been an absolute dream, since attending that first show back in 2018, and then just getting a spark of an idea to do this, and then now to be doing it full time for going on 3 years now is just absolutely fantastic.
How different, have you stuck to the plan, or have you gotten sidetracked and went all over the place with your projects?
So starting out, that was the biggest thing, is the shell shock of seeing that, holy crap, there's multiple species, people doing all kinds of things. Getting in, I wanted to do bearded dragons, geckos, ball pythons, boa. You know what I'm saying? I had a list of different species. So I'm hearing some little bit of echo. Oh, I think it may be good now.
I think it's good now. It cleared itself up.
Yep, it's all good. So it's one of those things that initially I spread myself out way thin because I thought I could do multiple species at a high level and try to be, think outside the box and be cutting edge with multiple species when you've never bred anything a day in your life is kind of, I'm a bit of a dreamer, but after a little bit of doing that and some self-correcting, granted, I still have plenty of pets, but kind of focusing, like hyper-focusing on certain projects and building projects to completion to where I'm comfortable, to where I feel like I have a solid base to make some beautiful offspring and build from there. I don't need to dabble around. I just need to kind of finish one thing instead of starting like 50,
You were dreaming big. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you realized
I still do. I still do, unfortunately.
Yes, you do.
I was about to say, don't tell me you stopped.
No, yeah, it doesn't stop. It's just, and that's the cool thing is, I decided to hyper fixate on the ball pythons because the glory about them is, it's one of those things that if you take the average person and you show them, for example, when I go to a show and show them what all I got in the displays, they are shocked to believe that every single one of those is a ball python because you end up with different patterns, colors, all this other stuff, and they're just shocked to hear that all these are the same snake, basically. So it's kind of an artistic outlet for me because I consider myself a very artistic person, but the execution on my end, like I can't draw, I can't paint, I'm not musically talented, but I consider myself to have a little bit of an artistic vision, and snakes is the way it comes out. It's like my living artwork. And then through hyper fixating on that, and now I'm comfortable with most projects I have. There's not a whole lot of animals that I'm needing to plug in. I'm pretty comfortable with what I have. I just need to put in the work, a few generations of offspring, and we should see some goals. It's going to be a lot of work, but because I'm comfortable doing that, like I said, I've ventured out a little bit with the hognose, and those have been absolutely fun. And then the green trees, which I'm running my first pairings this year, so fingers crossed. But I hear it's a hard-breaking species. Yeah, for rightfully so. If ball pythons are a pet rock, then green tree pythons are just a pet rock on a stick. So it is what it is. They're beautiful.
And you can't go wrong with hognoses. Those are a hot commodity.
Yeah, and what actually put me onto the hognose is, I actually had 3 pet hognose at the time, but I was at the first Dallas NARBC. I was set up there vending, and I strolled by Tom Harbin's table, rest in peace. This was when he was set up vending, and I talked to the gentleman multiple times about his monarch stuff. He was very big in the ball pythons as well, so we had common grounds there. But I did a double take because he had this little bitty deli cup with a storm cloud hognose, which is, I don't know if you've ever seen one, but they're a blue hognose. And I was literally walking by on the other side of the aisle, and it made me do a double take. So I walked over there, and I struck up the conversation basically like, Tom, what the hell is this? And he starts explaining that it's a double recessive and the hog nose, and it kind of blew my mind because I had no idea that people were doing double recessive. I thought that was a ball python thing, or double recessives and hog nose, and not to mention that you got people going for triples and quads and stuff like that, and all but two of the genes are recessive. So I mean, there's been a lot of work done with the hog nose, and I can really appreciate the morph trait, the stacking and stuff like that to achieve a certain phenotypical look. It's something that really intrigues me, kind of the mad scientist aspect of this stuff.
We had the Harbins on, and we did talk about hognose. And if I'm not, am I wrong? Like, it's when you're breeding hognose, like sometimes it's really a surprise. Like you're like, huh, how'd that? Am I wrong? Was that the ones that?
Well, so normally, right, you have to watch them. They can be a little finicky when you pair them right off the rip. You got to make sure the female's receptive because sometimes the female will try to eat the male. So that's one of those things. As far as the surprise, I pay close attention so I don't end up with a surprise of like a male getting eaten or something like that. So usually you can kind of tell when they're locking. So the stuff past that shouldn't be much of a surprise. But going back and only having one snake when there was two in there, that's a surprise I don't want.
Heck no. There was
No.
maybe, okay, I feel stupid now. I don't think it was hognose, but there was someone that we had on, and we were talking about particular species, and we were talking about like genetic combos and blah 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 blah. And in this particular species, it doesn't even matter because you don't know what's happening at the end. I'm gonna think
Oh,
about it.
that may be green trees because it's one of those things that I'm trying to
No.
wrap my head around those things, and you can layer it like the different lineage, between high yellow and blue line stuff. But at the end of the day, everybody's telling me it's a dice roll. You could have nice parents, but you could still have just a green snake. So
It's going to
I
drive
don't
her
know.
nuts now.
It is.
We
It's
Maybe
went
interesting.
maybe it
to
was
see Josh and
testes.
Alicia's table at Southeast in, was it February? And they had that
Oh,
green hognose that was so pretty.
I've
It's like
never seen anything like it. The
Yeah,
whole belly, oh my God, the belly was black, right? And then everything else was like camo olive green. It was incredible. Of course, it was
and
the
it is
most expensive.
crazy. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Usually they're nice and they turn out, and you're like, look at the price tag, and you're like, it makes sense. That's
it
how
does
that
make
Stormcloud was.
sense.
It was a $5,000 hog nose. You look at it and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was just like 55, 7,500 bucks for this bad boy. And of course, I almost sold my vehicle to get it, and I have
Yeah, shit, figure
nothing
out
to
getting
do with
home
hog
after that.
nose.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll figure out getting home.
We'll walk our asses back to Texas.
Not a
100%.
Subaru.
But it's always interesting because nowadays, I don't want to say we get I don't want to say everything's run of the mill because we work with animals and there's surprises all the time. But most of the time, there's especially with so much that's been done with ball pythons, there's very few just surprises that pop out. Something that pops out that doesn't look the way you think it should. Most of the time, especially if you buy from reputable people, you know exactly what's in the snake for the most part. So you have an idea of what's going to pop out. But hell, even my ball pythons in the past couple of years with the cryptic stuff. So I've had that stuff just randomly pop out and
Yeah, you
make
got the
pythons
surprise
when I couldn't.
genes.
Yes, and it's been, like some Bob Ross happy accidents, but luckily all the surprises that I've gotten from stuff not proving or proving, I guess, something else, it's always been a good surprise. Like I had a clutch recently from an OD red stripe, G stripe, 66% het clown girl, and she didn't prove het clown, but she did prove het cryptic, which for me is
Okay.
honestly better because I love clown, but it's almost a little redundant at this point. Every once in a while, don't get me wrong, multiple times a year, we'll see some new clown combo that just hasn't been done. They're breathtaking. They all look good. But for the most part, it's a lot of repeat. And we know they look good, but it's kind of mundane. I love them all, but I like seeing different stuff. I want to be a little bit of a surprise of where I can have an idea of how something's going to look, and I can't base it off of anything because it hasn't been done, or if it has been done, it hasn't been shown off.
Sure. What are some, this is Nikki's question. Nikki,
Yeah.
ask him your question.
Ask me.
What are some favorite things that you have? Doesn't even have to be like your favorite project. Oh no, It was so good we broke Justin's camera. It's going to be too good. He's gone.
Shit. Fart. Well, he'll come back. He'll come back to us.
It's going to be good. It's going to be great.
If you love
It's going to
something,
be
set it
grand.
free. If it comes back, it's meant to be.
Well, remember last week we couldn't have him on, or the week before, because it was internet trouble. So let's hope. I think it's just because his stuff is so good, the world just isn't ready for it yet.
Yeah. The camera broke. It said, "See ya. No thanks. We're keeping this under wraps."
We lost him. Oh, got a call. He's trying to get back. Those
I'm
darn phone calls.
I'm the baller. Who's the caller?
Sorry
Welcome
about
back.
that.
We-
I got
we
a
just-
phone call.
You're good. We just figured, the world wasn't ready for you to bring the jelly.
Yeah, I didn't even get the whole question. I heard like 2 words of it and I got a call.
I was going to say, what are some of your favorite projects or favorite genes to work with, or all of the above? What's your favorite?
So some of my absolute favorite stuff is going to be in our Mandarin. Of course, I like to pair that with hypo. Hypo is hands down my favorite recessive. Hypo, absolutely. Like 80% of my collection involves hypo in some way or form, or will. You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't, it will. So in our Mandarin paired with the hypo, I love Mandarin, but I will tell everybody you have to keep it with hypo. The DGBPI stuff, but I'm gonna gear that into my clown stuff. But I'm gonna really, really work the Krypton side of it. Is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna tie in my DGBPI stuff with my DGG Stripe Krypton stuff. Is what I'm going to down the road. So a whole lot of
The
recessives
whole
floating
alphabet.
around. Yeah, a
Whole
whole lot of
alphabet.
recessives floating around. But those are some of the ones that I like. G Stripe unintentionally got thrown in the mix because last season, and I'll show the boy in just a second, that he started off the happy accidents, but I had a complete surprise G Stripe clutch that I was supposed to just make DG G Stripe combos that were Het Clown. Well, the mom proved out Het Cryptic, and I made some beautiful Desert Ghost. Well, I made some DG Kryptons, and then the big coup de grace was a DG G Stripe Krypton from that clutch on accident, and so that kind of got me geared towards eating my words on G Stripe, because before that I would tell you how it's very limiting gene, it takes too much pattern away, and I'm big on my pattern. And then this boy popped out. I'll show him off real quick.
Happy little accidents.
That doesn't
Yes.
suck.
There's a lot of happy little accidents these days.
So this boy popped out. Here, I'll put my camera around real quick.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
The happiest little accident
Right
ever.
here. So he's an ODYB Inchy Red Stripe DGG Stripe Krypton.
Ooh. Nikki, blow him up.
Oh, sorry. I was just in such awe that
I know.
I forgot what I was doing.
Oh, it was fun.
Here we
You should
are.
have seen when I cut the egg, I was stuttering because I had no idea what it was. But this boy, he just came out absolutely incredible.
Still keeping great pattern
Seriously.
too.
hmm
And color.
So this boy, he did start off kind of finicky eating, but he's since got it figured out. He's doing very, very well. So he's going to be at the end of this year. He's already got some girls ready for him next year. So he's going to be replacing daddy.
Oh, you worked hard for it, fella.
Yes, he did. But that was a really, really cool accident because, like I said, the pairing to that was actually an ODYB Inchy Red Stripe Clown that was Het Desert Ghost and 66% Het G Stripe. And then the mom was a Desert Ghost Het G Stripe. And she proved Het Cryptic, and the dad proved Het G Stripe. So everything kind of came together, and it made for a really, really cool clutch.
Oh yeah.
And then I actually, let me grab these babies too. The one I just hatched out, it was from the same sire, but I had an OD Red Stripe, G Stripe that was 66 Het Clown female, and she didn't prove out Clown, but she did prove out Het Cryptic, and she made some absolutely incredible stuff. Let me grab them real quick.
We're just like mad scientists. Just putting a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then mystery pops out.
Just a little sprinkle.
Just a little sprinkle.
If you sprinkle when you tinkle, be a sweetie wipe the CD.
We actually just had to put that on the bathroom in my warehouse.
Comes full circle.
I'm telling you, I'm clairvoyant.
Mm-hmm.
He said,
Okay,
yeah, we got the sign.
of course, one of these is going to be in the we'll start with this one right here. There, oops.
Oops is right.
Ooh.
Get that head out.
Oh, holy moly.
Uh-huh. Everything's so bright.
Golly.
Yeah, they're pretty mean too, so you may see me get tagged once or twice. But so this popped out right here, and I'm gonna get them shed tested just to be 100% sure. But it's not my first rodeo with Krypton, you know, and that's not just a super OD inchy.
It definitely has Red Stripe in there, though, doesn't it?
It's got one copy of Red Stripe. I don't think it hit on the super because Red Stripe was on both sides, and so was OD. I'm pretty confident that this right here is going to be a super OD inchy red stripe yellow belly Krypton.
Yeah.
That is
That's
50% Het Desert Ghost.
That's killer.
And so that one right there, ooh, got me.
Right.
So that one right there was the kicker that Mom proved Het Cryptic. And then I got this. This is the one I'm showing.
Whoa.
It is just as bright orange as the other one, but like I said, she's been shed, so she's super muted down.
But that makes me want to see that exact thing in hypo.
Same.
100%.
Uh-huh. Sign us up for
Golly.
that.
Because I love OD and hypo. That's one of my absolute favorites. And this is
It doesn't
these
suck.
are Aussie animals that made this. Both of the sire and the dame were from Aussie, so good OD.
Good OD.
Good OD for sure. And then the best for last, this boy right here.
What? Ooh. Ooh. Nasty.
Yes, this is what I believe to be Super OD, Super Red Stripe, Inchy, Pos Yellow Belly, G Stripe Krypton, 50% Het Desert Ghost.
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
just
Okay.
got whiplash.
Yeah. So the super red stripe in there, is that what's kind of muting the darker?
Yeah, I mean it's super that and the OD of course, but I mean it's like a peachy color in there.
It looks purple.
I mean it definitely's got that hue to it.
That's
These came
great.
out of the egg and another like one of those. Well, the funny thing is I would have bet the whole farm in the egg that they were Kikis, you know, but I'm not even mad. I love Clown, but Krypton's more my lane anyway, so I'm not mad.
It is pretty cool. Nikki, what's the saying? Justin, do you have something that you go by when you're trying to figure out the difference between Krypton and Cryptic?
I just don't pair for pure Cryptic stuff. So I only shoot for Krypton. So the mail that I run to make my Krypton stuff is pure Cryptic, and I run them to Clown. So that's going to be my game plan. Is I'm going to take my Krypton stuff and plug it because, like I said, I love Clown. So I'm going to plug the Krypton stuff into my Clown stuff. So I see all the Clown combos that we know and love, but I also have the chance to make the stuff that I like and my holdbacks and stuff like that, the little different stuff, you know. Like for example, last year I put my butter chocolate DG Cryptic male to a cinnamon head clown female, and I made just some incredible, like a butter cinnamon chocolate Krypton. Turned out incredible. I couldn't have thought of anything cooler that I could have made from just a cinnamon head clown female. You know, sticking a visual clown to it. I can't think of anything I could have produced that would have been cooler than those, and they were all 100% head DG as well.
Ooh. Is that
Butter
one
That-
still
cinnamon.
around?
Sounds
That
delicious.
boy's actually a stud. Let me show you the dad, the butter chocolate DG Cryptic. I love this boy because he's the only snake, and I'm bad about not showing like my breeders and stuff off. I like showing the babies that I make off, so I don't give these guys enough attention. But I'll grab the daddy real quick because he's one of the only snakes I've ever seen with this green hue that he has.
Ooh.
I'm waiting on the pins and needles now.
Waiting on the pins and needles.
Okay, a little teaser. Let me get him front and center. Okay.
Oh man, he is green.
Yeah, he's gonna take off on me too. Here, let me get him settled down real quick.
Oh, it's
Oh
beautiful.
man,
hmm
he's so green.
Yeah, he's not gonna settle down. But yeah, so
Green.
you can see that hue, and the pictures never do him any justice. You guys know how it is.
Yep. I hate a camera.
It's incredible.
But yes, with him, it's funny because all of his babies that I've made, the Krypton stuff, they were on purpose. But all the coolest Kryptons that I've made, arguably, were on accident. You know, I love them all. You know, they're all fun. But here's some of his babies, and then I'll get into, of course, some Mandarin because, like I said, I love Krypton stuff, Mandarin stuff, and then I'll show you another one of my favorites that you hinted at a little earlier, some Bambino stuff. I got some fun stuff. Dad is in shed though, but maybe we'll even take a peek at Daddy as well.
Sweet.
Oh my goodness.
Cool.
So this right here, I've hatched out some chocolate Krypton or butter chocolate Kryptons, excuse me, but I don't think this is it. This was that boy, which was a butter chocolate DG cryptic to a Motley Bongo pin clown. So I
Huh.
think this is actually a butter bongo Krypton head desert ghost.
Oh, that wacky pat. Okay.
Yeah, because it's similar to the chocolate or the butter chocolate Krypton I made last
Yeah.
year, but they're not. They're not. You know, it's similar, but it's not.
I would have definitely thought that was chocolate. Look at him.
And it might be. You know, this is another one I'm going to test.
Please don't take my word for it. Look at the bone
No,
on
one,
my
and
back,
it
though.
very well could be, but I'm just going off of the. You know, I did hatch a couple of them out last year, and they just didn't look like this. They were a little bit more richer brown and stuff. They didn't have as much yellow hues and stuff going on in them.
Okay.
It's
But
incredible.
that was actually, that's probably my favorite out of the clutch. But it was a small clutch, only 3 babies. But I did hit this one, which is kind of cool. Gotta get it settled down. 1 second, Chica, you're okay.
I love it.
Me too. I love everything so far.
Absolutely. Wow.
So this is, I think, a Motley pinstripe Krypton that does it goes.
Holy shit.
Turned out pretty nice.
So freaking clean, dude. Oh, that's really cool. Is that a keeper?
Probably not. Probably not.
Damn it.
She was hoping you'd say yes.
Here I go again.
Oh, no, absolutely.
That's crazy. That's wicked, bro. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so teach us about Motley.
So to be funny or to be completely honest, before this clutch and even still to this day, that was my first clutch involving Motley. And before that clutch, I was convinced Motley was Blade, and I'm still not convinced that it's not Blade. You know what I'm saying? So it looks to be more of a kind of a banding gene. I haven't, like I said, I wouldn't be the best person to ask because that was my first kind of introduction with it, and it's only 3 eggs. I didn't get to see much of a variety of things. You know what I'm saying? But I will say I didn't notice much of anything that just stands out to be motley or anything other than
Okay.
more of the banding on the pinstripe is what I was told to go off of. So
A Google
But that-
search did not help me either. It just says the body of a motley ball python tends to have rich coloration. That's
well,
not
if you
Well,
go
helpful.
through
there
book
you go.
market, it sometimes can be hit or miss because sometimes people have a tough time IDing their own stuff, and then you use that as a basis, and they're wrong, and then now everybody's wrong. But
Yeah.
that being said, if you go through and just kind of use your eyes and scroll through the motley stuff, it looks very, very banded and bladish to me. So
Okay.
I don't know. It's not necessarily going to be something I pursue heavy down the road, but it's in the collection. I'll work it when I can, and maybe it'll pop something cool out. I don't know.
Time will tell.
I think you
100%.
should play with it. Those 3 were absolute bangers.
Yeah, and that one should be just a straight Krypton. If not straight Krypton, then maybe a motley Krypton. But again, like I said, I'm not comfortable enough with the gene other than going off what some opinions that I've gotten. So it's not something that I can wholeheartedly ID myself, which may be an issue. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's an issue with motley.
You know what I like about you, Justin, is you're not afraid to admit, I don't know.
See, I believe that's a big problem in the hobby. Is too many people have to act like a know-it-all. Too many people are scared to say I don't know, but we can
Yeah.
try to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's one of those things that even coming in, people get a couple clutches under the ground and they're scared to act like if they have an issue, people get scared almost to ask for help because they don't want to act like they're wrong or did something wrong. It's we all start somewhere, and at the end of the day, the sooner we can all admit that we know nothing about these animals and it's a constant learning and growing, the better off we'll be.
Feel like there's
That's
We
the
think we
sound
can
of
get an
applause
idea of stuff, and then we get a curveball, and stuff isn't the way we thought it was. Or look at the whole care requirements for these ball pythons in the early 2000s or late 90s compared to what it is now.
right.
So information is constantly growing and evolving, and we just have to do that as teachers as well.
Oh man, absolutely 100% agree.
And I mean, I've been active. Like I got my first clutches in 2019. So I mean, even at however long that is now, five, 6, whatever year it is, I don't know. I'm comfortable with what I do, but I still, at the end of the day, have a billion questions about everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not only that, but I constantly think of ways that I could do stuff better, or I don't know. It's a constantly evolving thing. I mean, if it's broke, don't fix it. But also, some things can be improved. I think 100%.
Sure.
Showing off some of my favorite things right here, though. Some of the Mandarin stuff.
Oh,
So
is it
Mandarin,
true that it
yeah.
acts like a super? Like you have to almost hit a super to get that Mandarin flavor from it.
No. So what
Okay.
I will say is you need to keep it with hypo, and that's the screamers is your visual hypo Mandarin stuff. But the other piece of advice I have is know where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Just because somebody says they got their Mandarin from Piet does not mean anything. Look at what they're doing with it, because it's another thing that doesn't get talked about enough is the polygenic line breeding of genes. So as a hobby, we get too concerned with is the gene present or is it not? Not can we take this gene and improve on the great qualities that are already there. Now, there's a few examples like OD. That's a prime example of a polygenic line bred trait that didn't start off incredible and then now is something to write home about. It's very, very nice. Mandarin, same exact thing. I get all my Mandarin stock comes directly from TJ over at Tufati Royals, and I give that man all the praise in the world to the stuff that he's done. I know there's other good people that are working good lines of Mandarin and stuff. I can't speak on it because I don't have any of it. It's not anything I'm working. I will say TJ stuff, it looks very good, and you can tell he's put the work in. He will be the first one to tell you that it's subtle, especially if it's not visual hypo, it can be a subtle gene. But I would argue the good quality, it's not like you look at a Mandarin head hypo or just a Mandarin in general from good lineage and question if it's Mandarin. You know, you can look at the thing and you can tell it's Mandarin. So even if it's in its simplest forms, I will say the issue that I've had, and I didn't even have to like question anything because I have a Super Mandarin hypo. So all the way up until the recent Mandarin Bambino clutch that I had, that was off the female that I got, but that was her first clutch. Prior to that, I've not had to ID it because I know it's there. You know, he's proved out multiple times to a visual hypo female and, you know, put super Mandarin hypo to a hypo female and I get 11 eggs and I get 11 Mandarin hypos. Do that a couple times. And I mean, granted, I haven't been able to test for the super Mandarin yet, but through breeding, I'm pretty dang comfortable. So even in the subtle things, like I made some pewter combos with Mandarin and out of the egg, they were a little subtle. And then you get 200 or 300 grams on them though, and it's not subtle. They definitely grow into their colors and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I would say even in the really really subtle combos, to where it's almost kind of washing it out and stuff, if you give it a little bit of time and size and it's good quality stuff, you shouldn't have to guess it. Also, if you're looking at it and you have to question if it's there, don't freaking buy the shit. You know what I'm saying? But get something
Don't
that you
put
don't
yourself
have
in
to.
that position. Yeah.
Yes, don't even get in that fight. You know, if you're looking at something and it's not the best example or whatever, get the next
Keep
one.
walking.
You know,
Leave
go to
it
one
behind.
that just blows your mind that you're happy to look at because you'll thank yourself in the end. Even if it's a little bit more money, the offspring that it produced, you're going to be happier to look at, and just all around, you're going to know you didn't settle, and you're going to be happier with the animal. So this is one of the babies. This was actually a sibling uh, to the Bambino, but this is a really, really cool little Mandarin combo.
Whew.
That's not visual hypo either. That's just Mandarin. Well, Hurricane as well. Mandarin Hurricane head hypo.
God
Yeah.
dang. Fuck. The visual is gonna be freaking outrageous.
Oh, well, speaking of that, wait till we hit the Super Mandarin Hurricane Bambino hypo next year.
Oh, Lace, you have to tell Justin about the follow-up.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be hitting this up on the follow-up exam. We do this thing, and it's called the follow-up exam, and you
The
schedule
follow-up
it with
exam.
us when you're ready. So if you got some stuff, you're like, hey, I want to come back on the show. I want to revisit what we talked about. You just let us know. The self-schedule.
I've got some cool stuff in the works. You know, not to spill too many beans, but some of the I've got it with the Mandarin so far, the Bambino, and I will say I've got a few other incomplete dominants that are really really interesting genes that I've got worked that I'm trying to like I've got eggs on the way. I've got eggs from some of them cooking, so I should be able to show some pretty cool combos soon enough. But this is a pretty cool boy right here. This is a Firefly Mandarin hypo.
That's incredible.
I don't have words. Words are hard right now.
Surprised your words weren't "take my money."
And I will show you one of the ones
I'll
that
be
came
in
out
your
a little bit
DMs.
subtle, and I wish I had her brother to show off as well, because a few years ago I had an idea that I wanted to see this exact animal, blackhead Mandarin hypo.
Now Lace has lost it.
Yeah, so it's funny because, like I said, a few years ago I wanted to see this exact animal, and I hit her brother with pastel, and I ate my words on pastel in this combo. He's unfortunately I sold him or I kill him off, uh, but it's one of my good buddies, and he's close, and I get updates all the time on him, and he's 400 grams in bright orange.
Lace is typing this in right now, aren't you? Or writing it down. She's
Yeah.
writing it down.
Yeah, I'm freaking dying.
Oh.
I love it.
And then here's another pretty simple combo, but it's kind of a good representation of Mandarin in a simple gene and what it's actually going to look like. But this is just in our Mandarin, if I can get her to chill out.
I like how he says, this is just and then it's gonna come on screen and we're gonna follow over. It's
Oh.
just
still on me.
Getting closer and closer to the screen.
Justin, just
Second. See, that's
Oh, and she's gonna take off on me.
I
It's
hate
okay.
it. I
This
hate
is
it.
a fire Mandarin hypo.
wow. Just
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 fire Mandarin hypo. God. We missed the boat on Mandarin, Nikki. We missed.
it's okay.
no, you
we're
didn't.
we're
No, you
living
didn't.
right here.
There ain't no time like the present, as they say.
I know that's right.
And then, so I have a few more Mandarins I can pop out in a second. But the next thing I'll get to is the gene that I brought in at the very end of last year. So a little backstory on it is I kind of got my recessive foundation, and then as far as readily available incomplete dominance that I like, Cypress, chocolate. I don't want to say the Mandarin's readily available, but you can go to the right person here in the States, talk to them, and you talk sweet to TJ. I'm sure you could talk them. I mean, you're going to pay for them, but you could definitely get some animals. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, I wanted to kind of venture out and to get into something a little different, a little uncommon. I wanted something that it just wasn't readily available, something that I could get, and whatever I do with it is going to be relatively unseen.
Mhm.
So I kind of looked around for a little bit. I looked at Tornado was the first gene that I'd looked at. Talking with the people running that, they were a few years out on selling males, and that was also one of my kickers is I did need a boy. I wasn't opposed to getting a girl, as well, but I did need a boy. And next thing that I went to was looking at the granite type genes. So at that exact time, I was aware of Cosmos, and then I'd stumbled across a World of Ball Pythons post by Mills from the UK, and it was a Bambino granite gene het clown female, and the thing was absolutely nuts. I mean, it was just granite. It looked like static TV. Had like a red hue, just absolutely nuts. Something that I have not seen in ball pythons, and I've always been a fan of a lot of pattern and dark and just gritty. A lot of pattern, just dark, gritty. And upon seeing that, I'd reached out to him, and we were able to work something out, and I got a 1.1 over here. But since then, I have been getting my first offspring off of him. I've got a few clutches cooking as well, but I'll start at this one right here. So this, and I have to also test these because as it's getting a little size, it the only thing in the pairing was Bambino Hurricane to Mandarin Hypo. But as this thing took a couple meals and started growing a little bit, it was kind of a slow starter. But I'm like questioning the Mandarin now as it's starting to get a little size on it. So we'll take a look at it real quick though. I'm not completely sold because I have one that is for sure. I'll show you that one in a second.
What the fuck?
So dark.
But it's not as dark as what I would have expected.
Mm.
It's the only thing. It's got that head blushing going on.
Ooh.
And like I said, this one like to be, of course, the pretty ones like to give you the most heartache, but this one came out and did not want to eat for me. This boy has since been just absolutely slamming. So he's on
Phew.
a few weeks now of eating, so just give me a little bit of time with him and we'll get him looking right. Just a little comparison, I'll show you his brother real quick, just to show you guys the difference between starting off strong and then taking a minute to eat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
At least
the
you
next
figured
one,
it out. That's good.
this was my goal animal. Well, I am not convinced this animal has hurricane. I'm going to test it out just to be sure because it's all new. I want to be 100% sure of what I'm IDing. but I am not sold on the hurricane with this animal. And if it is hurricane, then the other one I would assume is Mandarin Bambino, and this is Mandarin Bambino Hurricane. But I don't think so, but I'm going to test just to be sure. And from the sounds of it, I think they may be having a Mandarin test be released soon. So hopefully we'll get some news and it can put all the boofy stuff out there to rest, and then people can have a little bit of a peace of mind when they're buying this stuff. You know, it's definitely an investment animal. The Mandarin in general, Bambino for sure, but the Mandarin, and especially with the kind of the history of people taking advantage of the subtle aspect of it, you know, people need to have a little peace of mind when they're buying this stuff. That it is what the heck that people say it is.
That's incredible. That
That's
might be
gorgeous.
my favorite. That might be my favorite.
This is my boy right here. So this boy right here, this is not the final product of what I want to see. This is step one. Next step to this is next year. I've got a few shots at the Super Mandarin Bambino Hypo with this boy. So
Damn it. Wow.
yeah, he looks good now. And then once we throw the visual hypo on there, he is going to be absolutely screaming. But with him, it's his interesting little head pattern that he's got going on.
I like the line down the back of the
Yeah.
head there, the
Mhm.
hollow line there.
I like how it chains before it gets to the pattern there. That's really down the dorsal. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a freaking obsessed. I'm gonna be dreaming about this snake.
This I had many sleepless nights thinking about this. So to see something like this come to fruition, and not only that, but like I said, it's not the final product. So even to see that step one looks so dang good, I'm very, very impressed.
I would have
Because
died happy if that were my final end goal. You're like, I'm
no,
here for
and
step one. I'm like, God damn,
yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
that's the thing is when I was getting into it, I wanted something that even in the just the really simple form is just breathtaking. You know, a lot like Stranger was, but I believe Stranger starting out didn't get the love it completely deserved because it started off as you know like the first ones that were brought in had clown with them, so everybody was hype on the Stranger clown. And I believe it took people a bit to kind of work into other things, and also Stranger itself did not get the appreciation it deserves. You know, just a single gene Stranger is an incredible animal. You know, it's an absolutely incredible animal. You know, and maybe a little spoiler, but we're gonna hopefully see what Stranger and Bambino look like soon.
Is he back? I agree with you.
Yeah.
What he
Girl may or
said.
may not have
Uh-huh.
already ovulated. I'm just waiting on eggs, but I wouldn't spoil a surprise like that.
No,
You definitely just didn't spoil the surprise.
no. It's nothing to spoil there.
I've got a
Nobody would
few
be
others.
waiting for that.
Yeah, maybe confusion as well. That'd be another cool one, huh?
Jeez, that would be just so
Hell
bad.
yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
don't do that.
And that's the cool thing, though, is like, you know, taking all these genes and I get to plug it in. For the most part, you know, besides the founder, I'm the only one that's got the animals. Well, there may have been a few more released since I've got it. I don't exactly know, but I was the first one, like publicly, that he had released the animals to. So that being said, even if somebody's got the stuff as far as like actually working it, that takes time. And the surface has just been scratched. There's been, in my opinion, very little done with this gene. There's been visual clown and visual hypo. That's it. Much less the different combos of that stuff, and multiple double visuals, and then hell, even triple visuals from there, and then different recessives that also haven't been done. Ultramel Bambino, I believe, is going to be absolutely off the chain.
Hmm.
The Bambino Dreamsicle, got to be pretty sweet. You know, there's so many routes I'm gonna take it. Like we know the clown's gonna look incredible, and that's usually the first test in a new gene. Is you know the market wants it to look good with clown. You know, and it does. It checks that box. Now it's just to see all the other things. You know, much less the combos.
Yeah.
You are like Bob Ross, just
You
painting
really-
all
you
sorts of
really-
happy little pictures over there.
100%. Some of them on accident, and some of them not on accident. You know, I've got some stuff that I work very, very hard for. So I'm excited to see it come to fruition. I say work very hard. I feed them, and when I'm supposed to, and I clean their shit. You know,
It
but
is
other
hard
than
work.
that,
It
That
is
is
hard work.
hard.
It's stressful, and I mean that takes a mental toll. That girl that gave me that clutch, that was my most anticipated clutch. Not that pairing, because of course she was sired by a different boy. That boy was, I don't even think I'd had the Bambino boy when I was hoping for this clutch. But that Mandarin Hypo girl was my most anticipated clutch of last year. I was gonna breed her. Well, I did, and then she reabsorbed on me to my pastel hypo zebra boy, and I wanted to see some Mandarin hypos that were het zebra. And I still want to see that, but I've kind of Bambino took a little precedence, and then also I would like to say that I'm going to get to that next year with my zebra stuff, but I've got super forms of Mandarin and Bambino hypos to hit, and I need to
that
see
are
that.
taking precedence right now.
I need a few more shots at it, I think, and even I think if I hit multiple of them, I don't think I'd be upset. But I do love the zebra stuff. It's been some of my favorite stuff to work. I haven't hatched any visual zebras out yet, but I've made a lot of like visual hypo het zebras or just double het zebra hypo stuff, and I'll be the first to say that even the het zebras have a hell of a look. I've got some of them. We'll show them off as well.
I wonder what the old Motley would do in zebra. It like
probably make it look like a visual zebra. It'd be
super duper bandy.
Yeah, because the hets, even like I said, they come out super banded and really, really grandy. So this one right here is just a double het hypo zebra.
Just a.
Very granity.
Yes, and one other thing that I've noticed with them as well is that they're almost brighter. You can't really notice it in the regular, like the normal quote unquote double het, but wait till I get the pastel out. Oh, I didn't grab the regular pastel, dang it. Well, here, let's look at the black pastel double het. Look at this thing.
Oh.
Ooh la la.
Yeah.
And that's just black pastel, double het hypo zebra.
Never met a black pastel I didn't like.
Right?
Not
And
once,
this
not never.
Really granity, really banded. I mean, very, very nice little boy. Here's another. Took a minute to pick out Eaton, but he got it figured out. And then here's just the straight hypo het zebra. But that's just visual hypo is what it's supposed to be. But look at that head effect.
So pretty.
Just when I think can't get any better, there's another one.
There's another one.
Another
and
one.
another one. Another one.
And then from there we got. Well, a cool thing about this clutch is the pairing was actually a pastel hypo zebra male to a black pastel het hypo female, and I hit every possible combination but a pewter. No pewters at all.
Okay.
I hit a normal double het, a pastel double het, a black pastel double het, and then the hypo versions all, but no pewters.
Pewter's overrated anyway.
Hey, I was gonna risk it for the biscuit, as they like to say, because I love black pastel hypos, but I'm not gonna say I would have been upset at pewters, but they're not my favorite.
That's clean too.
Favorite. Yeah, these guys want to be little wiggle worms. They're supposed to be ball pythons, and they don't get the memo.
Oh man, so
bright.
That's
pastel hypo het zebra, really, really banded. And then I'll show you my goal animal out of the bunch, and I was fortunate enough to hit a 1.1, so I got a male and a female. I'm probably going to keep the boy because I want to toy with a het zebra male. I think it'll be fun. I've got one growing up that's a pastel inchi quad het, hypo DG zebra clown that I'm going to mess with, and then I want one more het boy to grow up because I swear I can spot the het. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be able to test my eye, especially now that I can test for it. I want to be able to just test my eye. I think I can see it. I want to see.
Yeah, we can see why you want to keep that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold that boy close
to
your heart. Don't let me find out your address.
I got a sister if you need her. I think I need the boy. The boy needs to. I got to be my own best customer, they say, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of why we do what we do. You should love it, right?
Well, especially when
absolutely.
you're working shit that like really not a lot of people are exploring. I mean, the majority, I feel like, is holdbacks. So
Yes, and I don't know if anybody out there has ever sold a snake and then regretted it, but that's not a fun feeling. You know what I'm saying? To see something, and then my logic, for example, like that pastel blackhead mandarin hypo that I hit, my logic was that I've got 13 blackhead hypo combo females. I will definitely hit another one, right? I've not yet. So, I mean, I'm sure I will, but I'm not yet, you know. So every time I see that boy, it's just a little tear and that seller's regret. It's a real thing.
It is a real thing.
it is.
Lace, I think it's time for the thing. The
Are you
other
ready
real
for the thing?
The thing.
I'm going to weed out some questions because we definitely already know the answers to a couple.
That's good.
But welcome to Lightning Round with Lace, where I'm going to ask you a series of questions and you answer them as quickly as possible. So, nope, we know that answer. What's the last snake you purchased?
Last snake I purchased, a scrambler combo male.
Okay.
Yeah, he's Barnhart Black Pastel OD Sugar Scrambler. I want to see what that looks like with Hypo Mandarin. So that's
yeah.
Why would you not? Why would you not? And then throw
Oof.
Bambino into that bitch, and it's a real fucking party.
yeah.
There's a lot to be done here. What is a snake room pro tip that you live
Snake
by?
Pro tip. Mm,
It could be a tool, something that you use that helps make life better, more efficient in the snake room, something you couldn't live
maybe my
without.
ultrasound. I would say that's probably one of my most important tools, other than just being a cleanly keeper. You know what I'm saying? Another pro tip is if you do a little bit of cleaning daily, you don't have to do it all at once. You know, so stay daily, just little tasks. You know, stay on top of things, and it doesn't pile up. Now, past that, my ultrasound is probably, I would say, my most useful piece of equipment in this whole room. You know, it's I've got a few hundred breeder females in here, but not. Now that being said, I don't intend on pushing those kind of numbers. You know, I have some females that I just will not breed this year because I'm going to do a certain amount of numbers. I don't want to overwhelm myself. But strategically, when I'm running some of these males, especially if you're going to try to run a boy to multiple, more than 2, 3, 4 females, ultrasound's a game changer. You know, I get introductory pairings and stuff like that, but you don't need to overwork these boys for no reason. You know, one lock will do it. 2 locks is what I live by. You know, I hit them at 25 and then close to ovulation. You know, if I can get them an introductory lock, then I'll do 3, but I live by 2 locks. So
That's cool. I love that. The longer I go on, I'm really deciding, especially here lately. I think it's about time that I just get the fucking ultrasound.
it takes some time toying around with it. You got to get the hang of it, but
Yeah.
it's definitely something I highly recommend. Oh, and then another thing, a little dot of Blue Dawn in your chlorhexidine squirt bottle, game changer. Shit smells so good.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Blue
Yeah.
Dawn, just a dot, not too much. You'll end up with way too many suds. So just a dot.
Just a dot. Okay. I'm gonna go throw a dot in the bottle in a minute. There might
Oh,
be a
yeah.
little dot in the bottle. Who are your top 3? Nikki likes
I
that
got
one.
it. I got it.
Who are your top 3 favorite breeders?
Let's see. I'll go.
Besides me and Nikki, you can exclude us.
Okay, so then Give me 1 second. I have to rethink. We'll go with TJ over at Tufati. I got to give that man big props because I've yet to meet somebody, maybe minus Ozzy, which he's going to be next on the list actually. So him and Ozzy, but between those 2 guys, just single-handedly modeling a whole collection around one gene, very very impressive. You know. And then the third one, I have to give it up to the most important Justin in the game would be old Justin Kabelka. You know, he's the reason I believe that the industry's where it's at, and kind of set a standard for what it means to be an elite ball python breeder. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the model that we're kind of. A lot of people strive to be like Justin, and I see why. You know, the dude's absolutely killing it, making a great living off of something that we all just enjoy. You know, it's an absolute dream for everybody in the hobby, especially if you're breeding ball pythons. Every single one of our dreams is to be like Justin. You know what I'm saying?
I want to be like this, Justin.
Well, I appreciate it. My goal is to be the second most important Justin in the hobby. That's my goal.
You're already there for me. I'm gonna break out the W.
You're not our number two.
W.
You're our number one.
Yeah,
Well,
you're our number one.
It means a lot. It really does. It's the reason why I work as hard as I do. You know.
And just invest in a gene right now. Yep, that's obviously fucking Bambino. Favorite
Bambino.
recessive. We know that.
She's throwing her cards now.
Right.
We got to reiterate that though. Hypo everything. You know, I got a lot of hypo back when everybody told me it was a white trash gene and why you want a snake that always looks like instant shed. And you know, not that I don't like DG, but to be honest, DG I love it, but it cleans up a little much in some combos, and I like. You know, you put an adult combo DG and a hypo combo, arguably same genetics and stuff. I'm gonna lean towards the hypo. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Haters gonna hate.
Or you throw them together. Hypo DG's it's the jam. So
it's one of the many reasons you're our number one.
Well,
Hypo everything.
Hypo everything.
What's your favorite cookie?
White I can't even say it. White macadamia nut.
That's a good
and
one.
Also, I've tried one recently. They put out some pumpkin spice stuff already at Walmart, and I tried some weird ones that were like white macadamia nut pumpkin spice. They were pretty fire.
Damn. Okay.
But I can get down to a good chocolate chip or sugar cookie. You know, I'm not a prude to one of those either. They're good.
Right. What is a gene that you don't have that you want?
Well, I've got two. So otherwise, I'm pretty comfortable with everything that I've got. Minus, I would like to get Cosmos, just because I want to be the full input. You know, arguably, looking at them, you'd be kind of hard pressed to say that they're different. I want to have an actual input on it. I want to work with Cosmos. I want to see it in different combos. I want to run Bambino in the same combos as I'm running, and I just want to have my own input. And then the other one would be Tornado. I think Tornado's an absolutely wicked gene. I mean, it's maybe like a recessive Bambino, but it's still cool. It's the look I like. So,
what is a hobby of yours outside of snakes?
I don't have a hobby.
There is not one.
No, I've got I have a family. I've got a wife and two little kids. So if you guys have ever met me at the shows, I'm sure you've met my wife or my two outspoken little girls. But besides that, I enjoy, the snakes keep me very, very busy. And then otherwise, between my kids, they're 7 and 5 right now, so they're starting to get into the sports and all that stuff. Between getting out, trying to take them swimming, fishing, sports events, stuff like that. Usually my time's kind of ate up usually. So I'd like to say I'd like to work out. I'd like to say, oh, I've been in the gym all the time, but I've going full time doing this. That's one thing you think I would do is take care of myself, but I don't. Forget to eat. I forget to work out. Don't forget to feed the snakes, but me myself forget to eat some days. I mean, it's just I get hyper focused and I get busy cranking stuff out.
Well, you better get hypo focused.
Hypo. Oh, I've been hypo focused.
Amen, brother. Amen.
I think you survived lightning round.
You survived. You survived.
Ciao.
Usually I have like 3 full cards of questions, but you answered all of them. Maybe we should start doing lightning round in the beginning.
We could, but it's fun to throw your cards across the room.
It's all right. We'll check back and see if at the follow up, we'll see if things are still sticking. So we've got lots of notes for the follow up, okay? Because there's lots of shit I gotta see.
Yes,
well, I got some hopefully new interesting stuff that will come to fruition. They say don't count your eggs before you hatch, so I don't like to get too excited. But if even a portion of what I've got going comes to term, I'm gonna have some pretty interesting stuff to show off. It'll be fun.
Absolutely, dude.
We're here for it.
Yeah, for sure. Anything you produce, if there's ever a snake that you're like, that ain't for me, will you just hit me up first?
Of course.
Put Lace on speed dial.
Please. Justin, you're an absolute gem, and I've had a blast getting to learn more about you and what you're doing. You're a fucking vibe, man. You're doing it.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, I know we have a little bit of technical difficulties and stuff like that, but no, it's been an absolute blast. You guys are stellar conversation. It's been fun getting to know each other.
Yeah, man. We'll keep the conversation going. You're in our circle for years and years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope to see you guys around. I mean, I do hit some of the bigger shows. Rest of the year, should be at the Kansas City All-American show. I'll be at Tinley this year. I'll be set up, gonna showcase some animals at Tinley, the big show. And then also Dallas is coming up. I'll be down at the Dallas NARBC. So if you guys are in the area or anybody listening to the area, make sure to swing by and say, hey, I love to chat, whether it be snakes or you just want to say what's up, I'm here for it. So.
Hell yeah, man. I'll definitely see you in Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, this has been a great time. Thank you for hanging out with us, Justin. We can't wait for the follow-up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, if you guys are in Dallas, make sure to swing by the table. I've only got one table, so I'm going to be tucked away somewhere. But come find me. It's going to be the first time that I'm bringing out Bambino animals to showcase. So won't have anything for sale yet, but I'm going to bring them to show them off. So if you want to see them in person, swing by.
I hate that. Your display is going to have NFS on it. I fucking hate that.
I only got one table, and I'm bringing a decent amount of NFS stuff, so I've got to maybe retool a little bit and actually try to pay for my trip or something instead of just showing off a little bit.
Just give, man. Just give in. Give the people what they need.
Yeah. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Hey, show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me some. Show me. Show me